I am on Wi-Fi. I'm connected.
Go ahead and try and pick up my call to your cell, and we'll see if that works.
I'm gonna waste my fucking time doing this. You there?
It's a language.
Are you there, Mr. O'Connell? Did he come through, Clay?
I have no idea what's on.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're live, Steve. Everybody, can you hear him now? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi everyone, I'm having technical difficulties for some reason. I don't know why, but how's this?
That's much better, thank you. Did you have something to add? Were you able to hear what Mr. Coyle had to say?
I did. My only comment is, that's the first time we're hearing that information. We prepared revisions based on Mr. Coyle's last round of comments. We took everything he suggested into consideration and made all the exact revisions. So, I guess it's a little frustrating, that this is where we are now. If the board is looking, to wait for the permitting of the 40B before they're willing to approve this site plan, I think that could be months. I don't know why we couldn't condition approval of the site plan.
Through the chair, if I could.
Yes.
I have sent, I did send an email, I think, regarding the comments from VHB not being addressed yet, but I would be happy to discuss this with Mr. O'Connell offline and see if we can come up with a compromise, because I think you really should be looking at the proposed grades as it relates to the 40B project with the access road and how it's going to affect this building and the grading around it, and potentially make some modifications to how they're designing the access road in and maybe shifting it. But I think that we can probably come up with some resolution, but I do think we do want to see VHB's comments addressed as well as it relates to the infiltration basin, and I would hope that that's not going to be months for them to address those comments. So we can discuss this further, and unfortunately it's not a simple site plan where it's not going to potentially change. There's a lot of factors involved here when they're building an infiltration basin in the same yard, and that's still under review as part of the 40B project.
Okay. Mr. O'Connell, do you have anything to add?
We're happy to work with Mr. Coyle. We've had success doing that in the past. We're in the process of addressing VHB's review comments. But, typically with a 40B, you get comprehensive permit approval from the ZBA. But those really aren't final engineering plans. I guess I would say is that in this situation, we'll do everything we can to finalize engineering-related matters as they affect this site in conjunction with the 40B. So we'll work offline with Mr. Coyle and report back to the board as soon as possible.
Okay, then I would suggest that we make a motion to continue the hearing to the July 21st, and we'll go from there. If something comes up and that wouldn't be advantageous, then we could move it off to the August meeting at that point. But I think that may give you plenty of time to address the outstanding items.
Yeah.
That sounds fine. Yeah.
Through the chair, Wendy, I do have a question.
Sure, Mr. Regan.
What does it mean to modify existing sewer services for proposed connections? What are you doing?
The sewer services that were put in place during the subdivision road construction were assuming a different house location location. So they'll just have to be cut back to the exact length necessary to change the angle of the sewer service going to the currently proposed dwelling location.
Is there any idea how sharp the angle's going to be?
The sewer lines coming off of the sewer main and the street are actually as-built locations that as they were constructed, and the proposed locations are in dark black lines. We've got a clean out there. They look like they'll be less than 45 degrees.
Your plan doesn't really show how it connects to the street. It kind of dead ends there at where your arrows go to modify them. It doesn't show the connection in the street. But.
The light gray lines are the existing sewer lines.
Okay. All right.
Is that it, John?
Yep.
Does anyone else have any comments from the board? Hearing none. Thank you. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to continue to July 21st.
Scott Wren, I'll make the motion to continue this matter to the 21st of July.
Scott Wren makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Steve Chambers.
Okay, Mr. Brooks has seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Reagan? Mr. Reagan?
I'm sorry, aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
And Wendy Steinhilber, aye. It is a vote. We'll see you again on the 21st of July.
Great. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We'll see you guys in a month.
Thank you. All right, so Adam, the subdivision modification, the reserve at Ashworth Hill, I didn't realize that those comments from Graves pertain to that. So is there anything we need to do on that other than have just reviewed them, realize there's no further comments? And
If there's no further comments on that, so Graves did the review and all comments were answered. The DPW engineering deferred to the peer reviewer, so I believe it's all set on our end. If the board has any questions or comments.
Mr. Reagan, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I do not.
Mr. Brooks?
No.
Mr. Chambers?
No.
Mr. Wren?
No comments.
No, I have no comments as well. Okay, do we need to take any action on that, Adam?
Yes, two actions. That is a minor modification and to approve the minor modification.
An accepted motion for to accept these plans with a minor modification.
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Brooks makes the motion. Is there a second?
I would ask that we first make a motion to make the determination that it's a minor modification, and then we'll take the vote.
That's what I'm doing is making my modification. That's the first time. So we are voting that it's a minor modification, correct, Adam?
Correct.
Okay. So Mr. Brooks made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that. Steve Chambers.
Steve Chambers, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Reagan?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
Okay, great. And Ms. Steinhilber, aye. It is a vote. So now we make a motion to approve.
Yes, correct, please.
Someone make a motion to approve?
Scott Wren, I'll make the motion to approve.
Scott Wren has made the motion. Is there a second?
Steve Chambers, second.
Steve Chambers is second. And any further discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Reagan?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Ms. Steinhilber, aye. It is a vote. Thank you. the meeting minutes from, actually, let's do the electronic signature, consider provision, Mass General Law, Chapter 110G. Adam, did you want to talk about that?
Sure, this has been on the agenda a couple times now. It's an option by the board due to the COVID situation that you can use an electronic signature for certain documents. Mainly it would be site plan or special permit approval. A&R plans will still need to be signed in ink in person. Possibly other items may be necessary to sign in person. I am waiting to hear back from the Registry of Deeds on a question I had. So the ZBA and the Conservation Commission are using electronic signatures that they were voted on a month or so ago, and it was recorded at the registry that they would be using electronic signatures. So it's up to.
So are you using software similar to like DocuSign or something of that nature?
I think we were just using copies of your signatures and affixing them to whichever document the board approved.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have any particular software that we were looking to at this time, especially considering hopefully this is a short-term situation. So I don't know the board's feeling on it. Since there are multiple documents you need to sign in person, it's up to you if you want to take this route. I know Mr. Lynch isn't here tonight, so he may have his opinions on it. So I kind of leave it in the board's hands what they like to do.
Does anyone have any thoughts on this?
I do, Wendy. This is Scott Wren. We've kicked this down the road a few times now, just because we haven't had all members present for the past few meetings. Being that it's short term, and if it'll make things easier, I know that Adam's had a hard time getting us all into the selectmen's to the town hall to sign a lot of these decisions. So if it'll make that easier, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Yeah, of course, you're still going to have to come in to sign the A&Rs and things like that, but this will get the brunt of the documents signed quickly. Correct, Adam?
Correct. And mainly it's site plan and special permits. I'm checking on a couple other things, but mainly those two.
Okay. So as soon as Adam has the rest of the information that he's looking for, do you think we should wait until he has the rest of that information, or do we want to give authorization and take a vote on it tonight? I defer to the board and what you'd like to do. Any thoughts?
Wendy, I have a question.
Yeah, Mr. Chambers?
Yep, so signatures will be used if we approve in the affirmative on all decisions, and that's the only time. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. Is that correct, Adam?
That's correct. The record of the decision already exists in the meeting minutes. Just certain decisions need to be recorded with the Registry of Deeds, so that's a formal decision letter I write up.
Okay. I'm willing to vote tonight.
Okay, Mr. Wren?
Same, I'm willing to vote tonight.
Okay, Mr. Brooks?
I'm willing to vote tonight.
Okay, and Mr. Reagan?
I'm willing to vote tonight.
Okay, so if someone would like to make a motion that we use electronic signatures for those documents that we can, when the motion has carried in the affirmative, those signatures will appear on those documents.
John Regan, I'll make that motion.
Mr. Regan has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, Wendy.
Mr. Brooks has seconded. Any further discussion?
Through the chair, Wendy, just one thing. I believe we'll need your signatures in ink to record that you're going to be using electronic signatures. So there is that one time you'll have to come in and sign in person. You'll have to sign the decision. You're going to use electronic signatures. So.
Okay, understood. Everybody understand that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we've had a motion and it's been seconded. I'll do the roll call now. Mr. Reagan?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
Wendy Steinhuber, aye. It is a vote. And now entertain a motion for the meeting minutes of June 9th. Anyone?
Yeah, I'll make a motion. We accept the minutes for the June 9th meeting.
Okay, Mr. Chambers has made the motion. Is there a second?
Scott Wren, I'll second.
Mr. Wren has seconded. Any further discussion, corrections, deletions? All those in favor? Mr. Regan?
I can't because I wasn't there.
Okay, Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Wendy Steinhuber, aye. It is a vote. Meeting minutes are accepted as presented. Thank you, Rachel. Great job. And I believe that is it, unless you have anything else to discuss tonight, Adam?
Yeah, there's 2 items on the agenda. You'll need to continue the public hearing for Masad family and for SCL Realty.
Okay, I need a motion to continue the Massett Family LLC requesting modification of site plan approval under section 9.4.1 of the Auburn zoning bylaws for parking, landscaping, and site layout reconfiguration on property located at 54 Faith Ave. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Wendy.
Mr. Brooks has made the motion. Is there a second?
Steve Chambers, I'll second that.
Mr. Chambers, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Reagan?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
Wendy Steinhuber, it is a vote. Aye. We need a motion to continue the applicant for SVLL Realty LLC, a definitive subdivision plan for a 13-lot single-family home development on property located at 178 Hampton Street and 19 Eaton Ave, map 12, parcel 120. Could someone make a motion to continue that hearing to July 21st?
I'll make that motion, Wendy.
Mr. Brooks made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it, John Regan.
Mr. Reagan seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Mr. Reagan?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
I'm recused from this matter.
Okay. Wendy Steinhuber, aye. It is a vote. Anything else, Adam?
That is all. I don't have anything extra.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Excuse me 1 minute. Mr. Williams, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I was wondering if the bond estimate from Graves Engineering was placed at this meeting. Is that covered today or no?
Adam?
That was not, I didn't receive it in time to include it in your meeting packets. It has been reviewed by DPW, and they concurred, both Graves and DPW, on the estimate. I didn't want to presume that the board would take action without seeing it ahead of time, but.
Yeah, no, that will be addressed at the July 21st meeting as well, Mr. Williams.
Okay, great. And just as a follow-up as well, one of the comments that I heard from one of the board members tonight, I think was just wholly inappropriate and unprofessional. Eastland Partners is a landowner of a few different parcels in town, and we've worked with the town of Auburn for over a year now. And, I'm kind of just disappointed to hear something, vulgar that came from one of your board members tonight. So I just wanted to make that heard for the public record. And, that's all I've got for now. And, we'll see you guys next month, the next meeting.
Well, we appreciate that, Mr. Williams, and I'd just like to say that I understood it to be frustration with he was also the member that was having a hard time calling in, and I thought it was frustration more with the logging in the process than with Eastland Partners, and I'd just like to take this to apologize for that comment, and we'll make sure that we have a discussion in regards to that. Okay?
Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And these Zoom meetings aren't making it easy for anybody either.
No, they certainly can't.
So,
Okay.
thanks, Madam Chair. Have a good week. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved. This is Scott Wren.
Mr. Wren has made the motion. Mr. Brooks is second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Reagan?
Aye.
Mr. Brooks?
Aye.
Mr. Chambers?
Aye.
Mr. Wren?
Aye.
Wendy Steinhover, aye. It is a motion. Good evening, everyone. Have a great night. Stay cool.